Hey gang, this is Foucault. I'm making the Ante video that I set out to make with my last video, and just didn't end up getting the action last time. I kind of turned into a heads up video instead. But this time I've got two solid games of 5-10 going with an Ante. I actually had some problems with the mic, so the first 5 minutes of recording on this is actually done after the session, and then yeah, after about 5 minutes, you'll get that it's jumping to live recording of my play. So let me say a few things up front about how my play is going to change a little bit based on the fact that there are antes in the game. The most important thing is just that with more money in the pot pre-flop, you need to be fighting for and winning more pots. And this is also true of your opponents, right? Everyone needs to be fighting for and winning more pots. So I think, although you want to play more hands, you want to call more raises, you want to make more raises, you want to make more three bets, all of that, it's also going to be true of your opponents. So one thing you need to realize or pay attention to is which of your opponents is making that adaptation and which aren't. And especially against opponents who are also adapting, all of those things, when you do them, like when you make your more aggressive calls, your more aggressive raises, it's important for you to have position, because if you are calling more from out of position, well, your opponent is you're kind of benefiting your opponent, obviously, by giving them the opportunity to play a pot in position. And if you're three betting a lot of pots from out of position, well, the antes also mean that your opponent is getting better pot odds to call your three bet. So you've got to be careful about doing that. And you'll see in this video, over the course of this video, I do make some calls out of the blinds that I might not make if there weren't antes in the table. Sometimes I make some raises that I wouldn't otherwise make. One thing, and you'll see right here with me opening the ace-jack, is I haven't changed my pre-flop raise size. I'm still raising 3.5 times the big blind. It's certainly true that I am giving better odds to the blinds to call my raise. There's a couple reasons I'm okay with that. The most important of which is that the most important of which is that I don't think my opponents are going to do a good job of taking advantage of that. I think that they probably aren't going to call as many hands as they should, and even if they do, they're just not going to. If the net result of me making those smaller raises is just that they call more raises at a position, that's fine. That's not the end of the world for me, because I think that just gives me the opportunity to outplay them post flop. So I'm fine with giving the blinds better odds to call me. I am probably enticing. I think the single best way of exploiting that is to three bet me more often in position, and that's a difficult thing for me to combat. And you'll see that one or two players here in this session, Lucky Scroat in particular, kind of gives me some fits by three betting me in position. But again, as long as you're able to take advantage of that by doing stuff like four betting kings and getting it in, it's not the end of the world either. You just have to be able to recognize how your opponents are adapting to you and readapt appropriately. So the bottom line with the antes is you've got to be trying to win more pots, and that's going to mean you're calling more raises on the button than you otherwise would. Could mean you're calling more raises out of the blinds than you otherwise would. You're going to want to three bet more often. When you're in position, you don't necessarily have to change your three bet size, at least not very much. When you're out of position, you do want to three bet a little bit bigger.